The weather remains beautiful here in Chicago as Marquee Sports Network presents Chicago Cubs baseball. The Cubs try to avoid a series sweep as they entertain the White Sox. Javi Baez looking to get out of an offensive slump. Jose Abreu, the best two-game span of his career. 5 homers already this weekend, and Cubs and Sox fans reduced to watching this crosstown classic from afar here in 2020. And welcome to Cubs baseball here on Marquee Sports Network. I'm Len Casper. The Cubs wrapping up what will be a 12-game homestand. They're 4-7 so far, and they'll hit the road for a 3-city trip starting tomorrow. White Sox, the hottest team in baseball right now. There's no question about that. They have won 7 straight. They're scoring almost 8 runs per game, a huge run differential, a huge home run differential. They've hit 27. That is a major league record over a 7-game span. They hit 6 in their win on Friday, and they added 5 more on Saturday. And as we welcome Ryan Dempster into the broadcast, Yu Darvish has won 4 in a row, Demp, and his job today is to slow down this Sox offense.
Yeah, and he's going to have a tough chore at hand to be able to do that, but he's the right guy to have out on the mound. His stuff alone will miss a lot of bats, and that's what you got to do is keep these guys in the ballpark. You look at his last 4 starts, dominating numbers right there, and you know what really stands out, obviously, the 29 strikeouts and only 5 walks. You continuing where he left off at the start of the second half of last year. You look at his repertoire, and he's going to throw everything at you. I mean, he has, if the catcher could take off his glove and give you a 7th sign, I'm sure he'd throw that too. But dominant pitches, all of those, the ability to be swing and miss stuff. The cutter prevalent as the number 1 pitch for him. And you look at the 18 strikeouts on the cutter this year, there they are all over the zone. He'll throw it back door, front door, down, up. It doesn't matter, and what he does is he gets a lot of swings and misses with that. Leading baseball with strikeouts on the cutter, a premier pitch for him. Look for him to do big stuff out on the mound today here at Wrigley Field.
Got to be some butterflies for Dylan Cease. This will be his first career start against the team that traded him away, and he's got electric stuff.
He really does. He has a power fastball and a power breaking ball, and his last 4 starts, he's really put up some impressive numbers of his own. You look at the 4-0 record with a 1.93 ERA. He is susceptible to giving up the long ball. He's given up 6 home runs in 25 innings pitched this year, but he has the upper 90s fastball with a really good 12-6 breaking ball. Should be an interesting matchup. Always fun to face your former team.
Coming up, Elise Menaker has more on a big virtual birthday on this Sunday, August 23rd. Stay with us. On Marquee Sports Network is brought to you by Toyota, official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Life or Death Illinois. Learn more at lifeordeathillinois.com. And by Prevagen. Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand.
The Cubs-White Sox series is always a big one here in Chicago, but today is a big day for another reason. I am joined by Clark the Cub and Southpaw because Clark, it's his birthday today. He's celebrating a birthday all day long, so go to @Clark the Cub on Twitter, Instagram. You're celebrating digitally. We're celebrating right here. How's it going, Clark? Great. It's a great day for you. Southpaw, I see you have a gift here for Clark, so let's give Clark his first gift today. He's going to use them. I think they're binoculars. Yeah. Opening them would help. Are you excited, Clark? This is a great gift when we're on the rooftops. So do you guys need help? Your paws are not going to do the trick. Okay. There you go. Perfect. What a nice gift from Southpaw. Clark, I have to know, you're actually getting gifts from other mascots around the entire league. That's what you can see on social. What's your favorite gift, though, Clark? Like your favorite treat? Is it cake? Is it ice cream, or both? If you're me, is that salmon? Fish? Salmon? Ice cream? Salmon ice cream? Salmon sorbet. You want that sounds disgusting. I thought that you were going to say, I heard that you like gummy bears. I'm surprising you with this. You had no idea. Oh, is this okay? Socially distant hug. You have your mask on, so it's fine. Southpaw, are you jealous of my gift? Yeah, do you like gummy bears? Yeah, they're Clark's. It's his birthday. We're celebrating Clark the Cub today. Do you like his tie? It's a great tie, in case you missed it. You're going to keep the binoculars now. Well, Clark, thanks for spending the time up here on the rooftop with us. We've got a game to get to, so right now we're going to go to PA announcer Andrew Bellison. Happy birthday.
Prior to God Bless America and the national anthem, the Chicago Cubs and Advocate Healthcare would like to thank all the healthcare heroes in the Chicagoland area who continue their tireless efforts to keep us safe and healthy today and every day, as well as all of our essential workers. At this time, we ask that you please join Nate, Nathan, and Adam Klinger, and Wayne and Kathleen Mesmer as they honor our nation with God Bless America, followed by our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ticket to the game. Jake Cronenworth with the Padres' 5th grand slam. Trent Grisham hit 3 in their win over the Astros. Zach Gallen's got a .225, 6 starts and no decisions this season, and you see tied a record to start his career, allowing 3 or fewer. 2 guys above 400 as we near the halfway point of the season. DJ LeMahieu, the former Cub, and Charlie Blackmon. Coming up, the Sox try to win their 8th straight as they're surging, and the Cubs try to finish this homestand with a win before they hit the road for a week and a half. Game 3 coming up from Wrigley Field. Today's Crosstown Series is presented by Wintrust. Another nice day. We may get a little rain later, but hopefully nothing that will interrupt the proceedings. Yu Darvish ready to work against this White Sox lineup, brought to you by Advocate Health. Anderson, Moncada, and Grandal 1, 2, 3. Abreu 5 homers already in the series. Jimenez had 2 doubles last night, but overshadowed by the long balls. Luis Robert 2 go-ahead blasts. James McCann off to a very good start all around. He'll get his only start this weekend. Mazzara and Mendick go 8 and 9 for Ricky Renteria's club. And here is Anderson. White Sox are in third, but they're only a game out of first. In the AL Central, the Cubs lead the NL Central by 3, their smallest lead since August 3rd. So Darvish to Anderson to get us started. And a first pitch strike. .88 degrees as we get started. One and one to count.
It's warm, it's muggy, wind's slightly blowing out. These are the days you want to keep the ball on the ground as a pitcher. The ball tends to carry on hot, humid days at Wrigley Field. You can see the wind there. 9 extra feet added, 7 extra. Hit it to right.
Our weather applied metrics powered by Climasol. 1 and 2 on Tim Anderson. Darvish, as we mentioned, has won his last 4 starts and just 5 walks during that time. And like Dylan Cease, Yu's ERA has gone down after every start so far. Kick and the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Looks like you wasn't real happy with the location, but it worked.
That was one of those backup breaking balls. You're trying to throw it down and away. Ends up leaving it up in the zone a little bit, but it's a result-based business they're in out there on the field, and that's the result you want. Even if it's not the pitch you were hoping for, at least you get the swing and the miss, and you try and make a better one the next time.
I remember at times Greg Maddux would throw out an expletive after throwing a strike that was taken just because he missed his spot. Yoan Moncada bounces foul.
Yeah, you start to understand that the more you miss your spot, eventually they're going to end up hitting it. So when you're not throwing it where you want, it becomes very frustrating.
Moncada 0 for 5 last night. He did not get into the game on Friday. 0-2. It's interesting when Darvish takes the mound in the first inning. He goes out before the rest of the team. He grabs the ball, kind of takes one fake warm-up toss, and then he waves at his teammates to come on out. It's part of his routine. Moncada held. And the count 1-2.
That's just being a good teammate. That's going out there and making sure the waters are warm and say, okay, guys, now you can come join me. We're good.
Moncada up in the box just a bit. My guys put that back foot on the chalk line as he hugs the plate as well. And that is low. It's 2-2.
You'll see some hitters do this where they like to try and maybe get up on the plate or in the box a little bit so that they can essentially meet the ball before the break actually starts to really take place. And Darvish likes to throw that breaking ball down into the lefties and maybe trying to give himself a little bit of a distance advantage.
Baez plays right behind the bag at second. There's the 2-2, heads home, and a ground ball toward right gets past Kipnis. Starting pitcher for the Cubs, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you as we take a look at Yu Darvish.
And you see Darvish is going to throw essentially that cutter one out of every 2 pitches he throws at 50% clip. He'll throw them all, though. Four-seam fastball, curveball, sliders, slinkers, split. Who knows? If he gets in a tight jam today, we might see the knuckleball break out. But Yu's got quite the plethora of pitches, and he lives and dies by that cutter, and it's a really, really nasty one, leading all of baseball with 18 strikeouts on that pitch this year.
Grandal in the lineup. He's the DH. He has homered twice in the set. A man on with 1 out. And a foul strike off to the left. Again, Jim Deshaies day to day. Hopefully we'll be ready to go tomorrow night. Thanks to Sean Marshall for filling in last night. Great shot from across Waveland. Into the friendly confines. Here's the pitch. Tried the curve and apparently missed the corner. That's Laz Diaz behind the plate. He's the crew chief. And thankfully he's in one piece after taking quite a spill at first base last night. But he did not get run over by Edwin Encarnacion, thankfully. Rizzo's got it. Baez at the bag. Darvish covers first. Did he get there? No. I thought he did. Shane Livensparger made the call, and the Cubs will take a look at the video. And they will challenge, which would lead me to believe they're going to change it.
Yeah, you see he does everything right. He gets over there, he breaks it down. He's a little short of the bag, but gets there in plenty of time. And
so that'll be 3-6-1, and the Cubs are heading off the field, and this should be a very short review. The only challenge in the first inning. Nate Holm is 100% correct. And he normally is early. So that is a 3-6-1 double play. Due up, Ian Happ, Anthony Rizzo, Javier Baez from Wrigley. White Sox did not score in the top of the first. And the Cubs hitting just 183 collectively over their last 8. Their lineup is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield through it all. Chris Bryant on the IL. Ian Happ's been in that leadoff spot here the last few days. Rizzo, Baez, Schwarber. Contreras, the DH, will hit 5th. Jason Hayward in right 6th. Victor Caratini, the hottest Cub hitter on this homestand, followed by Horner and Kipnis. Hard-throwing right-hander Dylan Cease will make his official Wrigley Field debut, although he did pitch here in high school in the All-America game years ago. Ball 1 on Ian Happ. Controlling the emotions today, probably the key, right, Demp, for Dylan Cease?
yeah, he's had that little bit of experience already at the big league level, but anytime you face your old team, the adrenaline level kicks up just a notch, and the excitement. You want to do well. You're comfortable in your own skin, but at the same time, you always have that little bit of, I got to show them for trading me. I think it's, you know, probably a feeling that every player, when they get traded or go to a different ball club, they all kind of share that same sentiment. And how do you harness that and control it is the key for sure.
He was a little aggravated by not getting that call. There's a strike, and it's 3-1. Happ has been deadly on right-handed pitching. 321 so far from the left side. And now full. Scouts look at Dylan Cease. That's his best pitch, right? The fastball.
Yeah, upper 90s fastball. I mean, he sits around 96, 97. It's got tremendous life on it. You can hear it, just the pop that it's hitting the glove at. It's an overpowering fastball, and you have to get high leverage counts to hit it.
99, and his arsenal brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Yeah, he lives and breathes with that four-seam fastball. That sets up everything else. His slider, his changeup, and he's got a really, really nasty curveball. As he goes along in his career and he's able to control that a little bit better, I think it could be even better pitch for him.
He bounces that one, and Happ's got a leadoff walk. Let's check out the rest of the Sox defense, brought to you by Jim Beam. We mentioned McCann. Very solid backup. He was an all-star, in fact, last year before they brought in Grandal. Third to first, Moncada, Anderson, Mendick, and Abreu. In the outfield, left to right, Jimenez, Robert, and Mazzara. Robert, likely a future Gold Glover in center. Now Anthony Rizzo is trying to snap an 0 for 14. Floated towards center, but it'll hold up for Robert. That's the first out, and it'll bring up Javier Baez. Demp, we have not seen a lot of Luis Robert, but he's clearly very comfortable in center. He's got crazy speed, and the thing I like about him, and we saw this even in summer camp, gets really good reads and jumps.
Yeah, and he wants the ball. You know, you see some outfielders will, you know, at times lay back and let a right fielder take a ball or a left fielder. He wants anything that he can possibly catch, and he gets tremendous reads on the ball. He works on it during batting practice. You know, a bright future for him, both offensively and what he's able to do defensively is going to be special.
Swinging strike on Javi. Happy 47th birthday to his hitting coach, Anthony Iapoce. I texted him today. I said, may you get 14 runs for your birthday. He said, we're close. Bright day. Baez wearing the sunglasses. Cease home on a 1-1. Doesn't want that one. 1-2.
And that's the challenge right there with a guy like Cease. When you have an overpowering fastball like that and you're mid to upper 90s, you got to pot commit a little bit. You got to get your swing started, and then you'll see chases like that out of the zone, especially with that slider, because it is, you know, 86 to 88 mile an hour slider.
Fine, I'll say it. You must cease to swing at that pitch. Get that out of the way early. It's too easy. Well, he laid off that one. So Cease decided, I'm going to try it again. 2-2.
And Javi was able to cease and resist.
That's right. Average has dipped below 200. Swing and a miss on the high heat. So that's his first strikeout. Let's get Ryan's keys to the game. They're brought to you by your local Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers.
Well, there you have it. You can do it. That's right. Yu Darvish, the man on the mound today for the Cubs, trying to put an end to the two-game slide. Avoid Abreu's act. He's been doing some damage here. The last couple games, 5 home runs and a ceasefire. That's what the Cubs bats need. Get to Dylan Cease early and often. It's going to be a tough chore, but put together some good ABs and see what happens.
Some good ABs off C's. Oh, man. Stop it, Len. Strike called on Schwarber. Kyle 1 for 8 this weekend. Like Darvish, Cease has won 4 in a row. Into the shift, backhanded play by Mendick. So the leadoff walk does not yield any results here for the Cubs. No score after an inning. Against Yu Darvish, and we'll check out the rest of the Cubs defense, brought to you by Geico. Caratini normally catches Darvish, and that is the case today. Horner will play third. Baez, Kipnis, the double play combo. Rizzo at first, as we normally see. Schwarber, Happ, and Jason Hayward left, center, and right. Jose Abreu has homered in his last 3 at-bats. This is the matchup you circle on your scorecard going into the game today. Ball 1, high. Let's go back to how the top of the first ended.
Yeah, and you see Yu Darvish here. This is just a good job of busting your tail over there to first base. And what happens when you do that and you give yourself ample time to be able to make the play he did? Sure, he wasn't touching the bag when he received the ball, but he still had enough wherewithal to reach back and touch that. That's the importance of always getting over there. Every time a ball's hit to that side of the field, what do? You break over there, make your first step over there. And when you give yourself time, then even when you're not necessarily engaged with the bag as you take that throw, you're still able to get the out. So good job by him right there.
And by getting that final out, he didn't have to face Abreu with a man on base. Instead, leading off this second inning. One ball, one strike. Low. Darvish making his 5th career start against the White Sox, 1-1 with a 4.97. Abreu high and deep. That's 4 straight home runs for Jose Abreu. Nobody can slow this guy down. He's got 6 home runs in this series. Wow. I keep saying it, but that's the only word I can think of.
And when a guy's hot, what they're usually doing is they're hitting mistakes, and you see a breaking ball here that doesn't get down in a way where you wanted to put it. And when you're throwing it in the zone right now to him, he's hammering the ball. You've seen it the last 4 at-bats, every at-bat this series so far. Good hitters make you pay for mistakes, and when you're a good power hitter like Jose Abreu and you make mistakes, those end up over the wall like they have the last few at-bats. And it's just going to come down to executing. You got to execute better pitches in order to get them out.
Okay, Jose, we get it. Yeah, we've seen some guys locked in over the years, but this has been something else. I believe that ties Matt Carpenter for most home runs in a series by a visitor at Wrigley Field. He hit 6 in a series here a couple years ago. One and one on Eloy Jimenez.
I mean, it's really remarkable what he's doing right now in this series, to see him continuously make you pay for the mistake. He's not popping anything up. He's not rolling over anything. And he's not even hitting it for singles or a double in the gap. He's absolutely crushing pitches that are mistake pitches. And doing a lot of damage.
Hayward on the warning track has room to get Jimenez. And I know it's easier to hear the bat crack with no fans in the stands, but boy, this team barrels up just about everything. Or at least they are during this streak. So this is the most home runs, tied for the most against the Cubs in any venue in a series, 6. Luis Robert has 2 go-ahead homers in the series, and then he fouls into the upper deck off first. Swing and a miss. Might be a record for shaking off the catcher. There you go.
I joked before about catcher taking off his glove to give him a 7th sign, but I've seen it down in his days in Texas with Giovanni Soto, former battery mate of his.
Swing and a miss. So that was a strike breaking ball, but he gets Robert. For number 2 for you.
0-2 slider here. Still not quite finishing where he wants to get it. You can see that on a few pitches so far today. He's hasn't quite honed that pitch in, but he gets the result he wants, and as the game goes on, that'll get sharper and sharper and become even nastier if that's possible.
So I noticed Caratini's doing a little wiggle, so that's probably the extra signs. Instead of just a 2 with a wiggle, or a 3 with a wiggle is a little bit of a twist on that pitch repertoire. You know, the index finger is the one. That's the fastball. I suppose you could use another finger with a 1, but that would probably not be appropriate.
That was usually the throw one inside. Off the plate, preferably.
1-1 on McCann. So these 2 clubs, man, you look at their catching core, and the Cubs have 3. They've got Josh Phegley on the roster, but Contreras, Caratini, Grandal, and McCann are all basically starting type catchers. That's where the DH comes in handy on a day like this. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And the depth, too, to be able to sustain any kind of minor injuries, major injuries. If anything was to ever happen to a catcher, you know, it's a vulnerable position. You take a foul ball. Maybe a guy needs a breather. To have another quality starting capable catcher on your roster is a luxury for both of these managers to have.
Outside, maybe a little low. I know Yu takes his time between pitches. It's just how he has to work. Could hear him grunting out there with most pitches. 3-2. Mazara on deck. The kick, the pitch, and he walked him. That's a rare walk issued by Darvish.
The Live Well with Advocate Aurora Health app lets you manage your family's health and wellness all in one place. Find the right care, start a video visit, try guided meditations, and more. Download Live Well with Advocate Aurora Health and start to live well today.
Now the left-handed swinging Nomar Mazara. Got him from the Texas Rangers over the winter. And low for ball one. Quite a challenge for this Cubs pitching staff against a surging, powerful Sox lineup.
It really is. It just comes down to you have to make sure that you execute your pitches. When you're facing teams like this and they're hot, they just don't miss mistakes, and you can't afford to make very many of them, especially with runners on base. And you got to fill that strike zone, get ahead. You know, count leverage in your favor is vital and key when you're facing a lineup, and two, you know, keeping their arms from getting extended, getting the ball in on these guys, running the ball in off the plate, cutting it at their hands so that you keep it away from that barrel of the bat and try and get towards the handle a little bit more, and that tends to keep the ball in the ballpark.
Tapped foul behind the plate. White Sox have won 10 of their last 11 on the road. Overall, this 7-game winning streak is their first since 2015. They haven't won 8 straight in 8 seasons. So I guess Mazara ditching the glasses. Ground ball picked up by Kipnis, off balance throw, and he got him. Abreu leadoff homer. 1-0 White Sox. Wilson Contreras will lead off for the Cubs in the bottom half when we come back. 1-0, bottom 2, as we welcome you to the Budweiser broadcast booth. This Bud's for you. Where would you rather be? Sunday matinee at beautiful Wrigley Field. And Demp, the Cubs may need to hit the ball out of the ballpark to match what the White Sox are doing this weekend.
Yeah, I would agree. They got a tough task at hand with Dylan Cease. He's a hard thrower, and they've been struggling offensively, and the White Sox have definitely been on the other side of that, and they're hitting the ball out of the ballpark at an alarming rate. So you got to figure out a way to drum up some offense, get some guys on base, make some things happen, and hopefully you can catch something out front with a couple guys on and hit your own 3-run home run.
Contreras, Hayward, and Caratini. Popped up for Mendick. Out in the grass, he's got it.
Cubs fans in Illinois may purchase Cubs Charities 50/50 raffle tickets for all home and away games. Fans can purchase raffle tickets online as early as 11 a.m. until the end of the game. Proceeds will benefit Cubs Charities. Purchase your ticket now at cubs.com/raffle.
Normally this weekend, by the way, is Sun Safety Day. It was scheduled for yesterday. But with the schedule the way it is, it was canceled this year. But just a reminder to people out there during the summer, as Hayward takes ball one. Skin cancer is the #1 cancer in the world. UV light, the primary cause. Melanoma, the most common cancer in young adults. So make sure you generously apply that sunscreen, SPF of 30 or more, and reapply every 2 hours. When you're outside or at the swimming pool or at the lake. And wear SPF clothing whenever you can. Cease just missed low. Two balls and a strike. So he got through that first inning, which is always important in a start like this. You've got a little extra adrenaline facing your original team. Both he and Jimenez came over in the Quintana deal. And that one fouled upstairs by Hayward. Dylan is from Milton, Georgia. Hayward from McDonough. So both from essentially the Atlanta area. Kind of a swinging bunt toward first. Cecil throw, and he got him. He could have let it roll. I don't know if it would have gone foul, but he pounced on it and makes a nice play.
Showing off some athleticism here as he bounces off the mound. This is how you want to do it. You field it. Does a good job of getting around the runner a little bit and throwing it to Abreu right as Jason's getting there, just not quite in time, but a good play by Cease as he bounced off the mound. Not an easy play right there.
Caratini and Robert Cruising makes the catch, and the Cubs go quietly in the second. 1-0 White Sox. I want to go back to that play Cease made against Hayward and just watch Jason out of the box. This goes back to the Trey Turner play in the World Series. There's a 45-foot lane. You see that line on the left. Now, right there, he did touch the chalk. Laz Diaz is watching where Hayward is, and if you're in the lane at all, if you take one step, you should be okay. It was not a factor because of the throw by Cease, but Demp, if he had hit Jason on the arm, he may have been called out for interfering with that throw.
Yeah, that's such a tricky play, and you know, there's always the argument, why don't you put the softball bag at first base where that's where the guy goes, so we just take that element right out of the game altogether. But a very, very borderline play that, had he been hit, definitely Laz could have made the choice to say, hey, you were out of the baseline there. And I think the fact that he was on the line to start with and established his running lane probably wouldn't have made a difference, but all null and void with a good play by the pitcher right there.
Yeah, and the problem with the Turner play is he was nowhere near the lane at any point until he got to the bag. And you can go out of the lane, obviously, to hit the bag. You have to. But it's on plays like that where it gets pretty tricky. 2-0 the count on Danny Mendick. And the other thing, too, in the heat of the battle, you're not watching where the guy steps, and you're not going to try to purposely hit the runner. But I think the one thing as a pitcher or a catcher you don't want to do is adjust too much on your throw, because if you throw it into right, you know, that guy could end up on third base. A 2-1 swing and a miss.
Yeah, maybe in a rare situation where you have a fast guy and you know you're probably not going to be able to get him and you can clearly see, then maybe you would try and, you know,
buy that call.
Yeah, and figure out a way. But it's in the heat of the moment to process all that and actually try to have it play out is almost next to impossible. Swing
and a miss. He chased one out of the zone. Hey, Cubs fans, go to MarqueeSportsNetwork.com for the latest Cubs news and video features like Do Up with Hayward and Bodie, presented by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent. Visit JeffVuk.com today. Nationwide is on your side. One 1-0 on Tim Anderson. The Dexter Fowler line from Joe Madden was "You go, we go." And you could apply that to Tim Anderson with this White Sox team. He's been hot since he returned from the injured list.
Yeah, just a formidable guy at the top of the lineup. His bat-to-ball skills are incredible. Obviously batting champion last year, and also the ability to hit one out of the ballpark, too, so a dangerous hitter to have leading off.
Two and one on him. You know, Darvish kind of encapsulates pitching in general these days, in that he's got a terrific fastball, and when he airs it out, you know, he can hit 97, 98. But he throws a lot of breaking stuff. We mentioned the cutter and the slider, occasional curveball. Hayward makes the grab, and he's one of the all-time great strikeout pitchers because of that. Let's check in with Elise Menaker. Hey, Elise.
Hey, Len, to add to that, you know, Darvish said after his last start that he has been focusing on his pace in between pitches, his tempo. He said that he had a conversation with Tommy Hotovy last June, July, and he really just wanted to slow down. He said when he got to the States, people wanted him to speed up. He said I was a slower guy in Japan, so now he's able to focus more on his pitches, he says, instead of the tempo.
Thanks, Elise.
You know, that's a really good point that he makes is, listen, we all want the game to move quickly and keep your infielders on their toes and make those plays behind you because of that. But at the end of the day, when you're out there making pitches, is what are you comfortable with? How do you feel out there? And if you're out of your comfort zone and you're feeling rushed, then you're not going to make the quality pitches that you need to do. So for him to recognize that, to have that honest conversation with Tommy and say this is where I'm at my best is a really good thing, and you're seeing the results because of it.
Strikeout to walk ratio, eye-popping 13.17 since July of last year. Three and one. Count now full. Outfield deep. This is probably going to be the case against most of this White Sox lineup. Oh, they're slugging. Full count offer from Darvish. Strike three call to end the frame. So 1-0 White Sox. Fun rivalry dating back to 1997.
The MLB app is the only place to get all your baseball action. In-game video highlights, live pitch-by-pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, standings, and much more. Download the MLB app today, the #1 app for live baseball.
That's the voice of Ryan Dempster, Len Kasper, Elise Menaker, our great Marquee Sports Network crew from Wrigley Field. And a foul strike on Nico Hoerner. Cubs still without a hit. One base runner, but 6 in a row retired by Cease. Potential outcomes in this plate appearance for Hoerner, brought to you by DraftKings. And I think he went. Ooh, he held. Shane Livensparger made the call. It was close. He got him that time. Nasty slide piece.
Sometimes you throw one, they lay off it. You see if you can lay off it twice, and that's just a nasty slider right there from Cease. Obviously set up by the fastballs that gear your bat speed in that direction. You got to get it going, and that's late, that's sharp. And tough pitch to hit right there.
Now Jason Kipnis. He's faced this White Sox team quite a bit. Back to his Cleveland days. He's got 11 career home runs against White Sox pitching in 126 games as he fouls that one off his foot. It's been fun, Demp, watching guys like Kipnis, Jeffress, Souza, kind of the new guys and veteran guys who've been around for a while have really gotten into the vibe of this group. Because it's different in the Cubs dugout. They get into the walk-up music and everything, but they've jumped right in feet first.
They really have, and been leaders that way, set an example. You know, when you have your veteran guys that come over here and they're bringing the energy night in, night out, it's just a sign of a really good team and good teammates, and that's why their reputation around the league with people that they've played with, other teams that they've been on, speaks highly of them, and a reason why they're here. Good job of him laying off that pitch. Almost went.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Good take. 3-2 to Kipnis with Happ waiting on deck. Called strike 3, 99 and painted.
After 225 years, you'd think we'd look to our past. Nope. We're looking to our future, where we're innovating every day to raise Jim Beam for 225 years to come.
Happ with 2 outs. The clubhouse culture conversation is always a little tricky because I'm sure there have been clubhouses in which everybody's gotten along and, quote, had fun. And they've been a 4th place team, and they're 1st place teams where certain guys don't get along. But, you know, in a lot of ways, guys do adjust to the chemistry and the environment they're in, and there may be times when a veteran leaves a buttoned up place and normally would like to maybe let his hair down a little bit, and then you come here and you go, man, this is great. I haven't been able to be goofy like this in 10 years.
No, it's nice to have the the open arms of a team, and they accept you for who you are and your personality. And
that one hit well. Robert, though, will get there. Yeah, no one's going to keep Ryan Dempster down, right? You're going to be yourself no matter where you are. 1-0 White Sox as we go to the fourth. This memorable moment brought to you by Prevagen, the #1 pharmacist recommended memory support brand. June 18th, 2009. Epic Cubs comeback. They were down 5-1 in the 8th. Lee, Soto with big home runs. Alfonso Soriano, seeing eye single. Reed Johnson scores. Cubs win. Cubs win 6-5 the final.
That was a great day right there. I remember that. The food tasted a little bit better after that game. The ice cold beverage was even a little bit cooler. All that with 2 outs too. Big home run by D. Lee. I can remember that like it was yesterday.
The 0-1 to Grandal is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 run in this game. That was an Abreu leadoff homer in the 2nd, and he is on deck. As we start the 4th, he's homered in 4 consecutive ABs. It's the other thing you miss about 41,000 in the ballpark is when Jose's name would be announced coming up, there would be a lot of booing and a lot of cheering from both teams' fans. Definitely miss that buzz. Grandal in the air, left center. It'll stay in. Whew, Schwarber on the warning track.
You know, when a guy's going really good, a lot of times it's not that they're hitting great pitches, they're just not missing the mistakes, and that's what's happened over this series so far is balls that are out over the plate. You can see them trying to go away, and it rides back over middle. This was probably the best pitch that he hit a home run. The only one that he went the other way with. There's a hanging breaking ball from Wick. This changeup that stays up, or split that stays up from Underwood, and then of course today a breaking ball meant to be down and away ends up over the heart of the plate, still down a little bit, but when he can get his arms extended, you know, strike breaking balls to Abreu end up being in a place where he can do a lot of damage. But you have to keep trucking away. You have to keep making pitches and do stuff like that. Focus on the fact that you're not necessarily doing anything wrong other than missing your spots. And sometimes we have to self-evaluate as pitchers, and you see that an incredible amount of home runs, tied for most by a Cubs opponent any series all time. And he's still got a couple more at bats here, so he's locked in and he's not missing the mistakes.
And if you noticed, 6 homers off 6 different Cubs pitchers. Well, nobody's been immune. He is the first player to homer in 4 straight at bats against the Cubs since Benito Santiago in September of '96 when he was with the Phillies. Hit hard, but on the ground. That's where you want to keep it. Kipnis gets him. Home run replay brought to you by Toyota, the official vehicle of the Chicago Cubs. A guy who played for both teams, and a career day for Dioner Navarro. 3 home runs. May of 2013. No doubter. That was before the video boards. Now Jimenez, line to the warning track in right, his first time up. Base hit to center.
It's a good first pitch. You're attacking him with a sinker down and in, and it's just a good job of hitting. You see him stay short with his swing, doesn't try to do too much. He hits it back up the middle, but that's what you want when you're facing these big power hitters. Keep the ball down, limit their extra base potential, and when you can limit those guys to singles instead of the doubles or the long ball, that's exactly what you want, especially with 2 out.
Center fielder Robert. Could not hold up. Nationals are blasting the Marlins 9-1 on the bottom of the 7th in D.C. Kid named Sixto Sanchez won his major league debut for the Marlins yesterday. Hit 100 on the radar gun. They got him from the Phillies in the JT Realmuto deal. Swing and a miss. Brandon Kintzler, the ex-Cub, is 5 for 5 in save chances for Miami this year. And a little worried about Francisco Cervelli. Suffered yet another concussion. That's been a bunch of them in his career, and you always worry about that.
Yeah, you start to get into that territory where your long-term health is more important than a baseball game. It's unfortunate to see, and wish him nothing but the best.
Darvish will check on the runner. Pirates are trying to sweep the Brewers 1-0. They're in the first inning. Pittsburgh has won 2 straight for the first time this season. Good lead by Jimenez. Called strike 3. 5 of them for Darvish. Cubs will bat in the 4th. Hitless so far, trailing 1-0. Cubs are headed to the Motor City to take on the Tigers at Comerica Park. We'll kick off our coverage at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Cubs live with the game coverage beginning at 6. Mills and Mize. It's Casey Mize, #1 overall pick a couple years ago, will make his 2nd major league start. Miguel Cabrera, the future Hall of Famer, off to a slow start this year. So Cease threw 3, 1 base runner. That was a walk in the first. That's it. Stuff looks pretty sharp today, early on. Anthony Rizzo trying to have a little fun after the Abreu ground out. Watch after he gives the 2-out sign. Get the ball. That's a milestone. We got him out.
Anthony, always one to have fun.
He's got his knock socks on. You can usually tell when he's been through a little offer. Just trying to change up the mojo. Ground ball, base hit. It worked. Snaps an 0 for 15. Cubs have their first hit.
That's how you get things started. Get a leadoff guy on, stays down through that ball, finds a hole through the shift, peeks over and says, hey, you know what? Give me that ball too. I'll take that one out of my 0 for 15 slump.
It's always a little perilous for Anthony and Kyle Schwarber when they hit a ball on the ground on that side because of the shift. But I've also seen him hit line drives over the second baseman and in front of the right fielder when it looks like there's no space. Just stick with your approach. Riz probably telling Abreu, hey man, why don't you stop and talk to me? You keep passing me by. Baez a little shaken up. That ball hit him in the chest. Yep. Big hole on the right side. One and two. So I mentioned Cease is from Milton, Georgia. It's in the Atlanta area. He has a twin brother, Alec. When they were juniors in high school, they led their team to the state title. There's some former Cubs who went to Milton High School. Kyle Farnsworth, Dexter Fowler, Bobby Scales. So they put out some big league talent. Sixth round pick 2014. Cubs knew he needed Tommy John surgery when they signed him. He had the operation in July of that year. Baez just got a piece.
They definitely liked the arm. They could see exactly the potential in it. Willing to take that risk, drafting a guy, signing him, paying him well, knowing he's going to have Tommy John surgery. And to his credit, he put the work in, the rehab work in to come back, and you can see why they thought so highly of him. Electric fastball, upper 90s, really, really good slider. Mix of a couple other pitches that should get better over time as well.
Knew they were giving up some talented guys when they acquired Jose Quintana. But they needed a veteran guy to help them get to the postseason in 17. They did. Got back there in 18, even though it was a short trip. And the White Sox banking on guys like Cease and Jimenez eventually getting here, and they are here. They're making an impact. Rizzo not running, and Baez hits one high in the air out toward Eloy. He's got the cool sunglasses on today.
Enjoy the perfect online bedtime stories from your favorite team. Where Stories Play, presented by Wintrust, are colorful tales based off of true Cubs stories. View stories at Cubs.com/where-stories-play.
Here's Schwarber. Rounded to second his first time up. I'd love to not do that again here. It might hit into two. No Lucas Giolito in this series. He's slated to pitch tomorrow for the White Sox. Dallas Keuchel was brilliant Friday. Gio Gonzalez got the win in relief yesterday as Reynaldo Lopez pitched into the fourth. Two and 0. White Sox will take on the Pirates. That's Tuesday. They're off tomorrow. That would be quite a poke. See if he can hit one 800 feet. Two and two.
That would have had to be an interesting conversation when they left for the ballpark today. Should I bring my glove? You know what, honey? No, I'm going to bring the fishing net just in case Kyle hits one 837 feet.
He stays alive.
Which, with advances in modern science and the technology of today's game and some sort of T-shirt gun launcher, you might be able to get one there.
Yeah. Short lead by Rizzo. The 2-2 to Kyle, and that is grounded down the left field side. Rizzo on his way to third. It's a double.
And that's what you're looking for in a two-strike approach, the ability to just shorten up and go the other way. A big gaping hole down the third baseline as Moncada was shifted over. Kyle taking that pitch, running away from him, just putting the barrel on it. Doesn't need to do too much with it. Now you got runners on second and third.
And the White Sox will leave their infield back, except for Abreu, who's pulled in a little bit at first. They don't want to give up 2 runs here on a little flare into the outfield as Contreras steps in. The pitch, side corner. Willie didn't like it.
That's the tough part, too. As a hitter, you're sitting there going, man, the guy's already throwing 98. He's got a nasty breaking ball. I want him to throw it over the plate. If you're going to start giving him inches in off the plate, it makes it really tough to cover that breaking ball down and away.
Cease has the jump on Contreras. Here it is. Too high. Tigers trying to win that series in Cleveland. They lead 6-1 in the 6th. Big numbers for Contreras against the White Sox. Knocked down by McCann.
Got a little bit lucky there. Not in a position to really block that ball as he's down on one knee. Seen a lot of catchers in the game nowadays doing that, trying to get the guy to make sure he buries that pitch in the dirt, but you leave yourself susceptible to not being able to block a ball, and he got a nice bounce.
Contact paramount here. And that runner at third in less than 2 outs.
This is where you want to see Wilson take that same approach that Kyle did, where you just shorten up, try not to do too much with it.
Good take. That's that swing and miss pitch. Hayward on deck. Ground ball to third. Throw is going to go to the plate. Safe. He got in. Double clutch by Moncada. Late tag by McCann. We're tied at 1.
You're exactly right, Len. The double clutch is what makes this play possible to be safe at home plate. That combined with the bad throw to home, he throws it on the inside part of the base path. McCann has to go down to get it and can't get back over in time to tag Anthony out.
The White Sox are going to challenge the call. This is not a bad challenge, even if it looks 50-50, because it is a run-scoring play. And look at the bat kind of got in Anthony's way, and the question is, did the glove get his backside before the foot got to the plate? These two replays really hard to tell. Maybe the White Sox have found an angle they like. I haven't seen anything yet.
This is where the importance of the call on the field, the safe call. Do you have enough to overturn that? Is there another angle that we don't see here? There are other angles in New York that they go and look at, but
again, the bat ended up right in Anthony's way. This could take a while. It's that close. But again, I like this challenge.
yeah, this challenge makes sense on many different levels. One, the call on the field, the run. But also, two, if you're right, now you have 2 out instead of a runner on third with 1 out. So it's
kind of a game-changing call.
Yep.
Yep. Once he double clutched, I thought Moncada would just throw to first.
I agree.
So if he got him right there, the arm touched him, but if the glove is on him, then he would have been out. But again, is there a definitive evidence to show he got him? Don't know. It is a game of inches. It's like Mike Napoli over there trying to influence things, given the safe call earlier. But they're taking their cue from New York. Wow. So the White Sox get it overturned. And a huge overturn. It's still 1-0. And the Cubs have runners at the corners here with 2 outs. Fielder's choice for Contreras. Rizzo out 5-2. Contreras takes off for second, and he's going to be out. Ball hit the dirt. Looked like kind of almost a delayed steal attempt, and the Cubs are out of the inning. It's 1-0 White Sox. Cubs made a couple of outs on the bases in the bottom of the 4th. Roster moves. Chris Bryant yesterday went on the IL with a left ring finger sprain. They played with 27 last night, and today they selected Ian Miller from the South Bend site, and to make room for him on the 40-man, James Norwood transferred to the 45-day IL. Meanwhile, a couple of starting pitchers working their way back. Jose Quintana, who might work out of the bullpen initially. We have not yet heard what his role will be. And Tyler Chatwood, dealing with the back issue, playing catch today as well. So McCann, who was right in the middle of those two big outs, takes high for ball one. That's a strike. Tim, your thoughts on Darvish so far today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's been doing a good job with the breaking pitches, that cutter slider combo. You know, he has so many different speeds at which he throws it, breaks at which he throws it at, his ability to drop it in right there in a 1-0 count. So a guy's dead red, 1-0, looking for that fastball. Then you just open up the door to be able to do so many more things.
Five strikeouts, 3 hits, a walk, and the only run on the Abreu homer. ERA at 1.85. Came in third in the NL in earned run average behind Trevor Bauer and Max Fried. Bauer lapping the field currently. Into center for a base hit. So McCann's been on twice.
And I'm sure he was looking for the strikeout there, but here's his 5 strikeouts on the day, and you see it early on. It was a couple hanging sliders, but then he was able to start burying them. Overpowering with that fastball to Robert the last inning, up in the upper 90s right there. So he's got the ability to, you know, go to multiple weapons when he gets ahead, and that's why he's so dangerous. When he's pumping the strike zone and it's strike one, then it just becomes a really, really tough at bat for the hitter because of that. He's got such an arsenal, such a repertoire to be able to put guys away with, pitch to all quadrants of the strike zone. And when he signed that big free agent deal here, that's exactly what they were hoping they'd get. And since the All-Star break last year, he's been nothing short of spectacular.
Strike one to Mazara. By the way, no stolen base attempt. Contreras out 2-6, so it was determined that he went when the ball hit the dirt. I think that's right. Oh, and 2. Cubs also have signed infielder Patrick Wisdom to a minor league contract.
That's a smart play.
Yeah. He's been assigned to South Bend. Yeah, former Cardinal and Ranger. The 0-2 fouled into the upper deck. Just looking around the majors, remember this name, Kyle Lewis. Think about Luis Robert in that Rookie of the Year conversation. The Seattle outfielder going into action today, leading the American League with 38 hits, a .463 on base percentage, batting average .373.
Yeah, an extremely talented ball player. And sometimes when you play up in the Pacific Northwest, the time zone and things like that, the games are on late here. You don't get to see them play as much as, you know, you maybe would like, or maybe not even ever. And he is really, really talented, leading the way in rookies right now, and a bright future ahead of him. Recently turned 25.
Has his career off to a great start.
And that just shows you, too, he's just hitting, starting to hit his stride at 25. It all happens at different times. We're sure we love everybody to be in their prime at 21. Yeah, but that's not the reality. And development takes time and takes effort, it takes adjustments. And he's made the adjustments he needs to make to be a successful big leaguer, and he's getting it off to the right track.
Schwarber will handle this liner. They'll get Mazzara for the first out. Comes Mendick, the second baseman. We mentioned the other day Nick Madrigal is on the IL, and Leury Garcia, really important, super utility guy who can play just about anywhere you need, is done for the year with a left thumb injury. So the White Sox have not been immune to the injury bug. Carlos Rodon, Aaron Bummer are out. Pitching staff. Michael Kopech opted out. Steve Reich on the outside. 0-1. Mendick hitting ninth, so Anderson, the leadoff man, on deck. Base hit left field.
This is just one of those breaking balls that doesn't quite get down enough. He's able to get the barrel on it right there, pull it into left field. Sure, if he could have that pitch back, he'd want it a little lower and hopefully hit the ball on the ground in turn two. But now you got to make some pitches right here against a tough hitter in Anderson.
The Major League batting leader last year checks in at current .359. Strike one. Every run the White Sox have scored in this series has resulted from a home run. 10, 7, and 1 in these three games so far. Not hit hard. Horner will get Anderson. So Horner, fairly new to the third base position, makes a nice play. Second and third with two down.
And new over there, but looking like a seasoned veteran as he takes the ball on the hop. Makes a nice little throw to Anthony, making sure that he gets out of the way of Anderson there. Not an easy play, but a good play right there.
Sometimes you have more time as a third baseman, but not when Anderson dribbles one toward you and has that speed. This feels like a big at bat in this game, right? Two in scoring position, two outs. White Sox already leading 1-0. Big out for Darvish to get.
And yeah, you have the open base, but then you also have a dangerous hitter in Grandal behind him who you don't want to end up having to face. You want to get the punch out here or get out of this inning without much damage.
At 0-2.
And what better way to do that than start off 0-2?
McCann, the runner at third, Mendick at second.
I always like the fastball in these counts right here, especially after a couple breaking balls. The guy's on the defensive. Getting that back to him. Instead of throwing it harder, throw it smarter.
He's got the pitch he wants, but Caratini wants to start over.
You know, you get in those counts, those 0-2 counts, and we want to rear back and put a little extra on it. We end up throwing a non-competitive pitch, as we call it, one that was never in the strike zone and never had an opportunity to be swung at or anything. And I guess the best result out of that is that you change his eye levels a little bit. You had him look up, and then you can expand to something down in the zone.
Low. The other thing that can happen on a pitch like that is you can hit a guy, right? The 0-2 hit by pitch you see way too often. Yeah, this is definitely worth a visit. This is, as we said, a pretty important sequence.
A lot of times in a situation like that right there in a 2-2 count, you meet with your catcher and your infielder especially, is you can even go over more than one sign, more than one pitch that you want to throw. Listen, this is what we're going to do, 2-2. We're going to nail this pitch, but if for some reason we don't get a swing or we don't get the call or it's not quite where we want it and we go to 3-2, then we can go right to this pitch and not have to worry about giving a sign to the runner at second base. It's a good job by Vic and you and Javi working through that right there.
Showing a high target. It's not what the intent was. It was to go down. Sometimes you're trying to get that batter to feel that they're going up.
Yeah, if you have any fear too that the runner at second base might be relaying any kind of location or anything like that, then sometimes if you give that target up there going down somewhere else, and like you said too, Len, a lot of hitters they can feel it. They feel a little bit of a movement back there or where the glove might be, a way to distract from that.
He struck him out on a foul tip. Remember that at bat. That could be big later on. As Strand 2 in scoring position. As Yu Darvish keeping his team in the game. 1-0 White Sox in the fifth. Sailing. I sail. Dr. Marvin. Dr. Leo Marvin. Victor Caratini. What about Bob? One of Bill Murray's most underrated movies, I think. Potential Outcomes brought to you by DraftKings. As Caratini waits on deck behind Jason Hayward. Ahoy! Cease with a 1-0 lead. Bad miss high for ball one. Great day to be out on the lake. That missed low. 2 balls, no strikes. Cease debuted last year. This is his 20th major league start.
For the White Sox, you got to be happy about the prospects of his future. He's got plus stuff, a great fastball, a good slider, changeup, and a breaking ball, which we haven't seen much of today. He's been mostly fastball slider throughout the course of the whole game. So the future's bright for the White Sox, and he's going to be an integral part of this rotation, hopefully for years to come for them.
That's a leadoff walk to Hayward. Let's check in with Elise Menaker.
Len, you guys are talking about Dylan Cease, and we saw him get out of a jam last inning, and, you know, he talked about overcoming that adversity yesterday. He said he's getting more comfortable with being a major league hitter, but he also said, you know, last year I got used to pitching in tight situations with runners on, so he got that experience from it. Now, I know last inning it was thanks in part to an overturned call, but we continue to see Cease make his pitches. He's more efficient. Rick Renteria said his total pitch count is better. He's going deeper into games, and he's being more reliable for them.
Thanks, Elise. Low on Caratini.
Yeah, you got to be in those situations and go through them to learn from them, and having that experience last year always pays forward into the next year, and how to deal with failures and how to learn from those failures and build successes, and realize when things are going well that you're simplify it, keep it nice and simple, and you end up getting results, and then that just steamrolls into more and more confidence, and then you're able to do good things out on the mound, especially when you have the kind of stuff that he does.
Well, the one thing everybody can count on if they have any sort of lengthy big league career is failure.
Yes.
The one thing you can't ever count on is success. Everybody going to go through some failure, and it's nice to be in dig-me mode when everything's going well, but it's how you handle the bad stuff, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember Greg Maddux saying, somebody was talking about all the wins he had. He said, yeah, I was really good at losing, too. Had a bunch of those.
1-1. Now 2 balls and a strike. Double play depth on the infield. Abreu holds Hayward. Around toward left. Out on the green. That's a strike. Cubs got off to this great 13-3 start. It's been a struggle since. And you see runs per game down quite a bit. Cubs not a big contact team as it is, but even that has gone down over the last 10. To third, Moncada booted it. He waited back on it. Hayward on his way to third. Throw there. Misses the mark. And that'll allow Caratini to get to second with nobody out. Be 2 errors on this play.
And you're exactly right. He laid back on this ball instead of going to get it. Takes that hop off there, and a great aggressive play by Jason Hayward as he sees Moncada going towards the hole. He knows that nobody's going to be at third base. It's going to be a foot race between him and Tim Anderson and the pitcher getting there. And when you're going to try and hit somebody on the run for a play at third base, odds are you're not going to get him out. That throw allows Victor Caratini to get to second place. Good aggressive play right there. You always love seeing that as a manager, as a teammate. When your guys are playing aggressive on the base pass, good things happen.
So Moncada, I believe, will get an error on the original play and then the throw. And Horner takes low. Again, infield back. Corner guys possibly could come home on a sharply hit grounder. 1-1. Door is open. See if the Cubs can take advantage, trailing by a run.
Is the guy you want up in this situation when you think the high contact guy on your team likes to take the ball the other way. He can kill two birds with one stone, get him in, get him over.
3-1. Have 2 hits. They have none in this inning. A walk and 2 errors, setting it up for Hoerner, and the bases are loaded without a hit. Comes Don Cooper before Kipnis bats. Talk it over with 3 men on and nobody out. Cubs trail 1-0, but a golden opportunity here, not just to tie it, but maybe to take the lead. Laz will break up the mound meeting, while Cease off to a good start today. Been a lot better on his home mound than he has been on the road. That's the highest OPS allowed away from their home ballpark. So we'll reset for you. Hayward at third, Caratini second, Hoerner first. And here we go. Ball 1. Jason called out on strikes in the 3rd inning. Cease thought he might have had a 5-4-3, but instead it turned into a mess. 2nd and 3rd no outs. Now bases loaded, no outs. And a 2-1 count on Kipnis.
And these are those situations we were talking about as a young pitcher. You come up, how do you navigate through this? You just thought you got a double play ball. Instead, now you have runners on 2nd and 3rd, not out. You're trying really hard not to give up any runs. Now all of a sudden you walk a guy. You're frustrated because you throw a pitch that you think might be a strike. And you find yourself in a whole bunch of mess trying to get out of it.
2-2. Cubs kind of ran out of the 4th inning. They've got another chance here in the 5th. Kipnis strikes out. That's number 1, a huge one for Cease.
Look at that slider in the dirt there. Just goes a little bit too far. I mean, just good late break, good depth, hard to lay off of, especially when he's throwing the fastball in the mid to upper 90s when you got to get it started and you're in protect mode with 2 strikes and just couldn't cover that pitch.
Knocked down by McCann as Ian Happ takes ball 1.
You know, that last at bat with Kipnis right there, the bases loaded, none out, and I know people at home are watching going, man, how do you swing at that? Or we need to put the ball in play there. And that's more of a tip your cap to the pitcher. That's a nasty, nasty pitch. And unfortunately, sometimes in those battles, somebody has to win and somebody has to lose.
Anderson stepping second, double play, 6-3, and Cease gets off the hook. It's still 1-0 White Sox as we go to the 6th. Hard, but unfortunately on the ground. Right to the shortstop, Tim Anderson.
Yeah, and that's the tough part. That's what you want. So hit something hard, hit it on the screws. He did exactly that. He got a pitch. He drove it back up the middle. And nowadays with shifts and players expecting you to hit the ball there because that's where you normally do, he's right there to be able to get it, step on the bag, and make a good throw to first base.
103 off the bat. But that's how double plays are typically created. On the hard hit balls, it's kind of a paradox. But sometimes life is, too. Grandal, strike one. Swing and a miss. Trying to find Sheffield on that cut. Grandal has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series. I also think, Demp, when you talk about inning management, bases loaded, nobody out. If you can get that strikeout for the first out, you know you're 1 pitch away, and that's exactly how it played out for Cease.
Yeah, that's. If you go into the at bat thinking I got to strike this guy out, you're probably going to get in trouble. So what you do is you try and just make pitches, and then you find yourself in a position to be able to get that strikeout. You get to 2 strikes. Credit to him for making that nasty breaking ball.
Schwarber in left, backpedaling. He's got it.
You know, he throws that to Kipnis and he gets the strikeout. Then, you know, a pop-up can happen or another strikeout or exactly what you're hoping to get right there, which is a double play ball. And, you know, if you're happy, you like the fact that you hit it hard, you just hit it right at somebody and you don't get the results you want. And at the end of the day, it's a result-oriented business. You know, they hang with them, the, hey, way to hit it hard doesn't play very well in the dugout or, you know, in that hitter's mind. So you just got to keep grinding here and figure out how to break that 0 up into some sort of crooked number and get on the board.
Abreu is homered and grounded out. StatCast is powered by Google Cloud. 2nd inning leadoff home run, and he knew it. 449, way up there, beyond the bleachers, just under the board.
All his homers haven't been cheapies.
Yeah,
they've all been long gone.
Got under this one. As Javi tells Kyle, I'll get it, and he does.
Who powers Chicago? We do. We consistently invest in better construction, better careers, better communities. Powering Chicago. IBEW 134 NECA, Chicago.
Quality outing to this point for Darvish. 2 outs in the 6th, 1 run allowed. But so far, that has held up for the White Sox. Pretty good list. Chet Lemon was a good player. Started with the White Sox, finished with the Tigers, 3-time All-Star. 1-0 on Eloy Jimenez. The offer by Darvish swung on and missed.
This right here, nice and tight, late break right there in a 1-0 count. The hitter sitting dead red, and you're able to not only get the swing and miss, but that's just a perfect pitch right there. Would have been called a strike. Good job by Darvish. Throwing something he couldn't hit in a hitter's count.
1-2, 97. Still has his velocity here on a hot day.
That's just tough hitting right there. So if you're up at the plate and you have to cover both of those pitches, it just becomes a really, really difficult task to square anything up, and keeps you off balance and going front to back and side to side. You've got it all working today.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That'll put the Cubs back in the dugout as Rizzo Baez Schwarber coming up. Yu Darvish through 6 has allowed just 1. Brought to you by Wintrust, proud legacy partner of the Chicago Cubs and exclusive home of Cubs checking. These starters have been really good today. Cease facing the Cubs for the first time since he was traded. And Yu Darvish keeping his team very much in this game, and you love the strikeout, 7 to just 1 walk. And that has been something we've become very accustomed to seeing from Darvish when he pitches.
Always appreciate a good pitcher's duel, watching these two guys go at each other. And this is the telltale time. Is that how you say it? Telltale?
I think telltale.
Yeah, telltale time. Going the 3rd time through the lineup.
Yep, Rizzo, Baez, Schwarber, 2, 3, 4 versus Cease. One and one. Anthony snapped an 0 for 15 with a single in the 4th. And he went after a high one and missed it. Hard to lay off with 2 strikes.
Bring hints of the friendly confines into your own home with Make It Cubs. These DIY Cubs-inspired projects range from a Cubs cake, magnets, and your very own scoreboard clock. Check out all the projects at Cubs.com/MakeItCubs.
Into the corner off the bat of Baez. That's a double.
Baez taking advantage of an 0-0 get me over breaking ball right here. Says, I'm not going to let you get ahead in the count. I'm going to go ahead and whack that in the corner out into the ivy and stroll my way into second base for another runner in scoring position. Good job right there. Getting the head on the ball, head of the bat out on the ball, and says, yeah, 2 right there. We need 2 guys to go ahead.
Couple of shots here to get him home and tie this baby up.
Len, you know, after last night, Baez said that he felt he was really close to kind of erupting at the plate. He walked and he got a hit. We see the double there. And, you know, something else that he's been trying to adjust to is no fans, because Javi is a player who just feeds off those fans. And he said, yeah, they motivate him.
Yeah, at least, you know, before the season started, he was the one guy I wondered about with the lack of fans in the ballpark. And, you know, I think that's why we've heard this Cubs dugout so loud and vociferous, is to make sure everybody stays locked in. One and one to Kyle. Swing and a miss. And Elise, I have to admit, I was a little worried about you with no crowd in the stands, but you're doing great.
Thanks, Len.
Because I know you feed off that.
Friends.
You feed off that same energy.
Thanks. I'm trying to bring it like the Cubs. You got to bring the energy.
1-2 on Schwarber. Schwarber in the air, deep center. Robert back, he'll watch it go! Cubs lead 2-1. Sometimes you got to fight fire with fire.
And Schwarber able to stay back here on the breaking ball. Like we talked about, that third time through the lineup, he'd seen that pitch earlier in the game. Able to wait back and drive that ball to center field for a huge 2-run home run right there.
It's a big hug from Albert Almora Jr. And that home run brought to you by Hefty, ultra strong, ultra low price. Contreras takes a strike. Cubs unable to cash in with all those base runners in the 4th and the 5th. They get the lead on one big swing of the bat here in the 6th.
You take that back to the at-bat before by Schwarber, his ability to go the other way on that ball that was tailing away from him, and it just told me that he was taking the right 2-strike approach and not trying to do too much. And I know, okay, a homer's a lot, but the approach is what allows him to hit that ball. He's staying back, he's thinking left center, and as Kyle will tell you, when he's thinking left center, he's at his best, and you see that right there, the ability to lift the ball, and he's so strong. He's got those quick hands and gets a breaking ball he can handle, and a big 2-run homer there.
It's interesting, the White Sox had nobody up in the bullpen. And you mentioned this third time through the order. It's something we talk about almost every night. Now Foster, the right-hander, is up, but that was after the Cubs grabbed the lead. So they're trying to push their young starter Cease here today.
A lot's made about the big deal with the third time through the lineup, and I think you also have to tell yourself, how did we get here? Did I face a guy and 2 times through the lineup I got him out with all fastballs? Well, then great, I have more tools to be able to attack him with. But like we were talking about the previous at bat, Schwarber saw a lot of pitches. He was able to fight off some pitches, and then eventually over time, as you see him more and more, you start to see hard hit balls like that right there by Wilson Contreras. And
he just missed one. And here's the home run ball.
You see him stay closed on that. He's not pulling off that ball. And obviously Cease would like to have that ball down in the dirt, not over the middle of the plate like that. But at the end of the day, Kyle did his job and made him pay for that mistake. And we saw that the whole time through the third time through the lineup. Ian Happ hits the ball hard up the middle. Javi Baez hits the ball hard for the double, then the homer, and then the hard hit ball there by Contreras. So the more pitches these guys see off guys, eventually they start to get the timing down, they start to recognize breaking balls, and then that allows them to do some damage.
Strike to Hayward. He's still throwing hard, 98. Cubs lead 2-1 here in the 6th. No swing, no sir. Tim Timmons down at third. Anderson makes the grab. Kyle Schwarber on one swing takes the Cubs from trailing by 1 to leading by 1 as we go to the 7th. Time for our Miller Lite moments, and we've had a few. Abreu, when he homered in the 2nd, it was his 4th in a row. He's hit 6 in the series. White Sox got out of a bases-loaded no-out jam in the 5th. And then Kyle Schwarber with a big 2-run homer to give the Cubs the lead as we get into the 7th inning. And Yu Darvish is still working. Luis Robert has struck out twice. He'll lead it off. Don't know if 2 runs will be enough to win this game. We'll find out. Good to see the starter get into the late innings here today, as that'll get out of play. Vicious cut. It's 0-2.
Always nice to get away with one every once in a while.
Rowan Wick is up in the Cubs bullpen. He got him. Sweeping slider. Time for our Geico making it look easy replay. Yu Darvish.
Yeah, he's been nasty today. Good combination of breaking balls and fastballs. That down and away to those righties. Able to finish him off. He's got a good sharp slider all day. Different velocities, different breaks. Fastball that's been in the mid to upper 90s at times. A modern-day warrior with a mean stride, Yu Darvish has been today.
Actually, 8 punch-outs after that strikeout of Robert. Now McCann, who has walked and singled. One strike to count.
We talked about it earlier in the broadcast, but at the beginning of the game, you could see his breaking ball wasn't quite there yet. He was leaving a lot of them backing up kind of over the middle of the plate, got away with a few, and now you just see the left-hand turn signal that's on that thing. It's appearing as if it's stopping right before the plate and just breaking. It's missing bats by a good, 4 to 6 inches at times. Really, really impressive slider for him today.
Yeah, I remember John Smoltz talking about, as a starter, you have some time if the pitch is not working early to figure it out. You don't when you go to short relief. I know you remember that too, right?
Yeah, you go from the bullpen where you've warmed up, you come in, you sit down in the dugout, you towel off, then you got to go back out to the mound and get acclimated to the game mound now, and there's just that transition period where sometimes you don't quite find it until an inning or two later. Hopefully that's not too late. Yu Darvish has definitely found it right now as he continues to get a ton of swing and misses with that slider. Just a filthy, filthy pitch today.
He's got 9 strikeouts, including 3 in a row.
And here's that left-hand turn signal I was talking about. You want to believe it's a fastball. You think you got a chance to hit it, and you can see right there he's missing that pitch by almost about 8 inches, and absolutely no chance. He's in full command of that pitch, knows where he's throwing it, knows when they're swinging. He's able to throw it for a strike when he wants to. It's fun to watch somebody be able to manipulate a baseball the way Yu Darvish can.
Two retired. Nobody on. Mazara. Another cut and a miss. Right at 98. I'm guessing this will be his final inning. And he seems to be getting stronger. You never know. That is a fair ball on an 0-2 pitch. And Mazara, thankfully, will end up with a single as that ball caromed right to Kyle Schwarber and left.
One of those at-bats sometimes as a pitcher you wish you could have back. You throw 2 good cutters and get 2 swings and misses. Try to climb the ladder right there, and it runs out over the middle of the plate just a little bit, where he's able to get his arms extended and just slap that ball the other way, using the velocity that Yu's throwing there to provide the power for him. But a good 2-strike approach by him. But I'm sure if you talk to both Vic and Yu right there, they're, man, why don't we just maybe go back to that same pitch? Sometimes we outthink ourselves out there instead of just doing the same thing over and over until somebody else makes an adjustment.
So Mazara on with 2 down. Danny Mendick. Strike 1. And a lot of those strikes, swings and misses today.
When your ratio is over 3-1, you tend to have really good results out on the mound.
Yeah. So he's ahead of Mendick.
Let's see if he learned from his last time. And just because he lays off one doesn't mean you stop throwing it.
Caratini pumps his fist as he gives Darvish the sign. It's like they're going back to a slider. One and 2.
It's the cat and mouse game too. Sometimes as pitchers, we're thinking the hitter's going, okay, now he's onto that. But meanwhile, the hitter's in the box going, "This is not going to throw me 4 in a row. There's no way. I got to get a heater right here."
Caratini going out there again. Oh, thing of beauty. 10 strikeouts for Darvish. Cubs lead 2-1. Stretch time. Brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Let's start off. All right. Let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Be out to the ball. Be out to the crowd. Buy me something and send back the check. I don't care if I ever get back.
Coming up after post-game live, let's play 2, the best on and off the field moments from this week, followed by Cubs 360. Then at 7 o'clock, an encore presentation of today's game, all coming up after post-game live. Budweiser pitching change. It is right-hander Matt Foster. First reliever for either team to appear this afternoon.
Obviously huge, outstanding numbers right here in 12 innings so far this year, 12 1/3. 17 strikeouts to just 3 walks, no home runs, and .079 batting average against. Big numbers out of the bullpen for the White Sox.
Fastball change, occasional slider. Caratini, potential outcomes here brought to you by DraftKings.
I think this is one of the biggest adjustments or changes that I've seen in the game when it regards to the bullpen. And, normally back when I played, but, not too long ago in a 2-1 game, that's where you went to one of your lesser bullpen guys because you were losing. And now teams treat that just as if it's a 2-1 lead because you don't want to let the game get out of hand and you want to keep the score exactly where it is, so you bring in your elite relievers, and teams around the league are all doing it. High leverage situations, even when you're down, it's just important to bring in a top-notch reliever.
Yep. Yeah, those multiple run leads change that dynamic, but yeah, you're within one. You're within one swing. Especially a White Sox team that is hitting so many home runs here. Nico Hoerner, a strikeout and a walk. Foster lets it fly, and it's low, ball 1. Foster, a University of Alabama product. Back liner caught by Robert. 2 quick outs. Time for stats brought to you by Lowe's as we look at the Cubs batting order. And Kyle Schwarber with 2 hits, but the big one, the home run, to give the Cubs the lead in the 6th. Kipnis has struck out twice. Base hit, I believe. You hope it is. Boy, Anderson, once he gloved it, you never know, but Kipnis has an infield single. Safe Play brought to you by Life or Death Illinois. Driving, biking, or walking responsibly near roadways really is a matter of life or death.
You know, sometimes plays are made for outs, and we talk about how great they are or how athletic, and just the fact that he was able to get to that ball and make any play whatsoever at first base was really impressive by Tim Anderson, but a well-deserved base hit for Jason Kipnis right there.
And Ian Miller just joining the roster, will make his Cubs debut as a pinch runner. Be surprised if Miller tries to steal a bag here. Not running on the first one, and Happ takes low or inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Cease went 6, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. He walked 3, struck out 5. Darvish has gone 7, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts.
I always wondered when the guy pinch ran for somebody, and especially at first base, and then he doesn't attempt to steal. I guess a double, a ball in the gap, you want him to be able to score. But take that shot, go for it, get into scoring position.
Especially up a run. Teams tend to be more aggressive in that spot as Happ grounds out. Moncada, Grandal, and Abreu in the 8th. Sports Network is brought to you by Wintrust, proud legacy partner of the Chicago Cubs and exclusive home of Cubs checking. Your local Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Visit buyhyundai.com. Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Blue Cross Blue Shield, through it all. This quality start is brought to you by National Car Rental. Speed, choice, control. 55 swings, 26 missed the mark. 8 swings and misses in the 7th and final inning for Yu Darvish. And the Budweiser pitching change brings on Craig Kimbrell. And this is the advantage of David Ross not having to name a closer. You're able to use your top relievers whenever the moment's right, and he's going Kimbrell in the 8th. Top of the order, a strike on Anderson. Tim is 0 for 3. In fact, their top 3 hitters have combined 0 for 9 so far. What's been the big change here for Craig in his last 3 outings?
Yeah, I think command has been obviously noticeable and very, very impressive. And, I know they worked really hard to have him just allow the natural ride of his ball take over and not create it. And it felt like he was trying to create that. And you see just the sharpness on the pitches, the ability for that breaking ball now to have some more depth instead of being shorter, almost cutter-like. He's got that sweeping breaking ball again back. And, when you're able to drop one in for a strike, dart 96 down and away, then you can just expand like this. It just becomes a really tough at-bat. And the pieces are there. And then confidence. That's between the years. The stuff's always been there. Instead of wondering where the ball's going to go or hoping it's going to go somewhere, you take the sign, you come set, you know you're going to be able to throw it there. And the more that happens, it just steamrolls into good things happening.
One strike on Moncada. Make it 0-2. He has one of the harder curveballs in the game. We saw one at 87. These guys would have been briefly teammates with the Red Sox. 16. 1-2. Kimbrel ahead of Moncada. Cardinals lead the Reds late. They're in the 7th, 6-2. Brewers, Pirates. Milwaukee has now grabbed a 4-2 lead in the 6th. It's Evan Marshall on the right. Ross Detweiler on the left. Almost hit him. 3-2.
I always thought that was interesting when you have a righty and a lefty warming up in the pen and they're facing each other. Essentially, if they throw a pitch at the same time, it'd be pretty hard for those catchers. Hey, which one are you catching?
Yeah. Usually it's the opposite. You put the righty on the other side. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on the curve.
And another one just like Tim Anderson right there, a nasty breaking ball. Down and in this time. Good depth on it, good arm speed on it, great location. And when he's throwing it there with 2 strikes, he's really, really hard to hit.
Ball 1 to Grandal. David Bodie in the game at 3rd. Nico Hoerner now playing 2nd. See Hoerner way deep at 2nd.
You know, you watch the evolution of the shift. Not only is he shifted over to the right a lot, but because of the speed of Grandal, you can play even deeper. And now you got it's almost like a slow pitch game. You got a little rover out there, a shallow guy out in short right field.
Baez pretty deep as well. 3-0. 1-run game. You got to believe Grandal's got a green light. There's something to his liking. Abreu on deck.
And I think that's probably one of the only things that's going to stop him from swinging 3-0 is the fact that the hottest guy on the planet's behind him.
There is ball 4. Tommy Hottovy to the mound. And we've got a chance to look at the upcoming schedule for the Cubs. Brought to you by First Midwest Bank, helping you build momentum. 10-game, 11-day road trip starting on Monday, including 2 off days and a makeup doubleheader. 3 at Detroit. The Tigers just won a series in Cleveland. Off Thursday, 4 and 3 days in Cincinnati. Off a week from Monday. And then to start September, 3 at the Pirates before the Cubs return home to take on the Cardinals. Luis Gonzalez will run for Grandal. Unlike Miller, you would not expect Gonzalez to be running because you can't get thrown out with this guy at the plate to end an inning. He's got a big lead, though. Swinging strike on a middle fastball.
And that is one thing I noticed when you watch all those home runs that he had hit throughout this series. Breaking balls in the zone, and high velocity tends to be a pitch that he can struggle with a little bit at times, especially if it's located. And if you take that mentality, sometimes my number one pitch against you, and you throw it with conviction, you end up getting really good results.
A 1-run lead for the Cubs in the 8th. Trying to snap the White Sox 7-game winning streak. Probably wouldn't be a 6-out deal for Craig today, but his next save would give him sole possession of 12th on the all-time list. He would pass Randy Myers. Curve is outside. .347 and counting. Two and one on Abreu. The pitch. Now 3-1. Jimenez is the on-deck hitter. No balls in play here in this 8th inning. 2 strikeouts and a walk. Swing and a miss. Now what will give? 3-2, 2 outs. Does he go strike to ball, breaking ball here, try to get Abreu to chase? Or does he go with a heater on 3-2? Caratini wants the curveball. Kimbrel wants the fastball.
Paint it down and away.
Good try. And a good take.
You know, after throwing that 3-1 breaking ball, it was perfect, right? And you're facing a good, hot hitter right now, but one of the better guess hitters in the league, too. And so when you throw that pitch, there's nowhere really to go that's much better than that. You have to repeat it again and throw the perfect pitch. So I love that 3-2 fastball. I mean, he missed by mere inches right there. A really, really good job by Craig Kimbrel. Unfortunately, didn't get the call.
Jeffress is ready. And the bullpen door has opened, and here he comes. 1-run ball game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Our Super Slow-Mos are brought to you by Mattress Firm. Budweiser pitching change. Jeremy Jeffress facing Eloy Jimenez. 2 on, 2 out, 1-run game. Pinch runner Luis Gonzalez tying run in scoring position. Abreu is the runner at first. And ball one. We've got some drama here at Wrigley Field. Jimenez holds his hands in tight as he gets ready to bat. 2 balls, no strikes. Kimbrel faced 4. He walked the last 2 after striking out Anderson and Moncada. That's a strike. First year as a Cub for Jeffress, off to a very good start. Pitching in a huge spot today. Strike 2. So Jimenez took the split for strike 1, the fastball for strike 2. You've seen all 3 of Jeffress' pitches in this sequence. Started him with a curve.
Good job of battling back from 2-0 count. 2 good pitches. Anytime you can throw a 2-0 off-speed pitch for a strike and then throw a good quality pitch after that. Now it's decision time. What do you pick? What do you choose? Ultimately, throw it in the right spot.
This will hold up for Ian Happ as Jimenez lines out, and the White Sox strand a pair. Still 2-1 Cubs. A tight one, a barn burner here at Wrigley Field as we welcome you inside our Budweiser broadcast booth. And these nail biters are fun, Demp. Could be a little nerve-wracking, but that's the fun of it.
No, that is. That's what you're looking for in competition, is facing the best in big situations. And a great job by Jeremy Jeffress right there, making a big pitch and getting out with runners on first and second. And these series are always fun against the White Sox here at Wrigley. No fans, unfortunately. I know everybody's watching at home with their edge of their seat, biting their nails, but it's a good close ball game right now, and looking forward to the end of it.
Don't bite your nails. It's a bad habit. Even though we understand that that can happen. So Ross Detweiler, 6'5" right-hander, still doing his thing at age 34. It's our Budweiser pitching change.
Impressive numbers.
Yeah, he's done a little bit of everything in his career. Starting, relieving. Four base runners allowed in over 11 innings of work. Rizzo, Baez, and Schwarber. And for the White Sox in the ninth, Robert, McCann, and Mazzara are due. jam shot, 3 bouncer that Anderson will take care of on the right side. Detweiler was the 6th overall pick in the 07 draft out of Missouri State. Drafted by the Nationals, born in St. Louis. A wide one to start this sequence. The double by Javi with 1 out set up the go-ahead homer in the 6th inning. Bullet hit way foul to left. A little ominous looking to the north. We're expecting some rain at some point. Leave the ballpark but foul.
It's getting closer. Pulled one really far left, a little less far left. Needs to just stay back on it. Think right center. Be able to keep the ball between the white lines. He's hitting it hard. He's on the screws with it.
He struck him out. It's out number 2. Keep it right here after the final out to break down the Crosstown Series. Cubs post-game live, presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Starts immediately following our ball game. Everything turned in the 6th inning. And Kyle Schwarber connected off Dylan Cease. He pops down the left field side. Long run Moncada, and he just can't get there.
Just a good job by Kyle staying back on that pitch. You saw the at-bat before where he's able to take the fastball away and slap it to left for a double, but that's not a double. That's a 2-run homer. Cubs needed that in a big way. Kyle Schwarber picking the boys up right there and picking up Yu Darvish, who's in line to get the win.
Schwarber's 5th home run. Happ leads the team with 6. Has been a struggle here the last 10. Cubs are 3-7. Win today would be big to avoid that sweep. You can just avoid the long losing streaks. Mendick out in the grass, and we go to the 9th. Looks like Jeffress will try to get a 4-out save when we come back. Cubs are headed to Motown to take on the Tigers at Comerica Park. We'll kick things off at 5 o'clock with Cubs Live, followed by the game action at 6. That's tomorrow night right here on Marquee Sports Network. As we normally see in spots like this, Schwarber exits, Happ goes center to left. Almora comes in to play center. Jeffress against Luis Robert, who has struck out all 3 times. However, he has homered twice in this series.
And that's the kind of thing you're going to see out of young players. You're going to see them have games where they wow us with the long homers, and they're going to have struggles where they, punch out a bunch or go through the motions at the plate. But this kid definitely has an incredible future ahead of him, both as a hitter and the impressive work he does in the outfield. You're right, Len. One day he will win a Gold Glove. Just an incredible job out there in center.
Jeffress has the jump, ahead 0-2. McCann on deck, and then Nomar Mazara. He got him on the curveball.
Well, when you get ahead of guys 0-2, 1-2, you're able to throw your pitch, and Jeffress does a great job expanding off the plate with that breaking ball right there. Putting Robert away with the punch out.
Yeah, Ron, you're right. The Cubs will be at the White Sox over the final 3 days. A lot of baseball between now and then.
Sure, it'd be fun if both teams were going at the end of the postseason, too.
Yes, it would. Strike 1 to McCann. Fly ball to center. Almora with that red glove. Records out number 2. Jeffress trying to record the 7th save of his career of at least 4 outs. Mazara taps the bat on the plate and gets ready to hit. Low. Cardinals won today, so the Cubs need to win to stay 3 up in the division. Jeffress will pick it up and just hold on to it. So the White Sox still alive. Infield hit for Mazara. The batter will be Mendick. And that's Adam Engel to pinch run for him.
You make your pitch, you get the weak contact you're looking for. Unfortunately, he just hits the ball into no man's land here. Once he gets to that, he realizes, especially with Mazara's speed, no chance of getting him at first base.
Yeah, a throw could only be potentially bad in that spot if you overthrow and then you put the tying run at second. 2 outs, a man on. Wide for ball 1. You watch Jeffress work. So much intensity out there. Clearly he doesn't need the 40,000 in the fans. Keep up that energy. Outside for a ball.
I just thought he was such a great pickup for multiple reasons, but obviously performance alone is number one, but the ability to be a leader down to the younger bullpen guys and show them that exact stuff, especially in a time like this where we don't have fans to give us that adrenaline to feed off, to remain focused, and he definitely does that when he's out there.
He's behind Mendick. Ooh, got that call. That's big. 2-1.
This pitch ends up just a little bit out of the zone, but you see a good job of Vic by sticking that pitch right there, not allowing his glove to travel south, giving Laz Diaz a real good look at it there and able to get the 2-1 call. That's a big difference, isn't it? You don't get that pitch, and now you're 3-0. Tim Anderson on deck. Now you're 1 pitch away from getting out of this.
Average lead by Engel. Three and 1. He's trying to stay away from slugging. Outfield deep, infield back. Looks like Caratini wants a split here on 3-1. And that is ball 4. So the White Sox rallied in the 8th with back-to-back 2-out walks. Here in the 9th, infield single and a walk. Tommy Hotovy before Tim Anderson bats. Well, the White Sox are not going to go down without a fight. They've won their last 7.
Give them a little bit of a breather here. Collect your thoughts. What's your game plan? What are you going with? Just focus on making pitches one at a time. Execute. Get out of this. I don't know, something like that.
Probably exactly what Tommy said in so many words. Yeah, I've often asked pitching coaches, what are the magic words? And it's 1 pitch at a time. Make your pitch. Get a ground ball, get out of this thing. Yep. So Anderson 0 for 4. Here we go. Strike 1. The stretch and the 0-1.
even a little tournament mentality there from Jeffress, the ability to get locked back in. All right, I got to attack with my fastball because that makes my other pitches even better, and get that strike one, and now you can go anywhere with the 1-1 count.
One and two. Now Anderson regrouping after kind of a tentative swing on a curve.
And that's set up by the 2 fastballs before that. That's the game of messing with a hitter's timing. You throw 94 inside for a strike, 94 below the zone, and then you're able to expand with that. You get them geared up. Now 1-2, you're just looking to make that pitch that starts a strike, finishes a ball, get something you can chase with.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Three-two, of course. Ninth inning, 2 down. Runners go with the pitch coming up. Moncada on deck. And again, Anderson doesn't walk a whole lot. When push comes to shove, he likes to swing the bat. And Jeffress entice him.
Make it competitive here. Strike the ball.
Nope. They're loaded. Another deep breath. Here comes Moncada.
An unfortunate walk right there. He had him 1-2 right where he wanted him, but it couldn't get it around the zone enough to get a swing and a miss.
You know, the one thing, Demp, he missed in his favor, however, and sometimes we talk about, hitting your spot. If he missed his spot in the strike zone, that could have been a lot more damaging.
Absolutely.
Strike one on a curve to Moncada. One other note here. Even on an infield hit, knock the ball down. Even if you give up the tying run, you don't want to let Mendick score. So it's every infielder's job to play goalie here. Make sure that ball doesn't squeak through. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
A pitch we saw him struggle with Darvish was that breaking ball down and in, and Jeffress throwing that in the same spot, and you can see him swinging right over top of it. Our eyes are our best tool for judgment. You saw it. Why not go back to the well again, same place, and you probably end up getting the same result.
Blocked by Caratini. They tried it again. 2-2. What a textbook from Victor. Popped him up. Is there room for Bodie? Oh, he stumbled right at the barrier. And new life for Moncada.
he gets over there, he's in place, and you see all of a sudden he runs out of room a little bit. Hits his foot against the railing, slips, and then therefore not able to make the play. Not an easy play, one that I guarantee if you talk to him, he'd say he knows he's got to make.
No error. It's a no play. So still 2-2. Here it is. Ground ball. Baez has it. Cubs win. Cubs win. They salvage a finale. They stop the White Sox 7-game win streak. And they finish what was a challenging homestand at 5-7, but they'll leave in first place. And we will hear from the offensive hero in a bit, Kyle Schwarber. That was a good ball game.
Absolutely. Always exciting. Cubs and White Sox, a Sunday afternoon here at Wrigley Field. Tremendous job by Yu Darvish. A pitcher's duel and just enough runs scored for him with the 2-run homer. All the way down to the end. A squibbler and a couple walks, but a play made by Baez right there. And Cubs are able to raise the W flag out there in center field. And go Cubs go. Blair through here and stop that two-game skid they had going.
And for Yu Darvish, his National League leading 5th win. He has won his last 5 starts. He went 7 strong today. As we check in on StatCast 3D.
You see how outstanding he was. The 10 punch-outs, here they all are. And the pitch of the day for him, normally the cutter, but the slider was nasty today, especially towards the end. He found his groove about the 5th inning with that pitch. It became unhittable. He was missing bats all over the place. And just doing what Yu Darvish has been doing since the All-Star break last year. That's going out there, striking out people, not walking anybody, keeping the ball in the ballpark other than the solo homer. They always say solo homers won't beat you, and he proved that theory right today.
Yeah, White Sox scored all their runs on home runs in this series. They do take 2 of 3, but a big win for the Cubs today. Darvish over Cease, Jeffress with the 4-out save. Let's check in with Elise.
Len, thanks. Kyle, you knew the White Sox, they were going to put up a fight. They were hitting the ball out of this park at a record rate. Then you returned the favor, you could say, in the 6th. Take me through that at bat.
Yeah, just watching him going throughout the game, kind of wearing away from his fastball and really going to his slider, and was able to put a good swing on it, 2 strikes, just trying to make contact there, and was able to put some good wood on it, and got up in the win and got out.
I saw that Rizzo greeted you in the dugout with a huge bear hug. How is this home run different than others?
This is we're all family in here, and whenever we're all going through tough times, we're all here to have each other's backs, and you know what, this is a big win, and we're gonna keep grinding and keep fighting.
Yeah, you guys keep fighting, and it pulled off today. You pull out the win. You snap the White Sox 7-game win streak. How important was it to get this win today before hitting the road?
Yeah, it was, really big win right there. We went out there, we fought, we battled. You did a fantastic job out there on the mound fighting for us. Our bullpen came in, fought, and got the save there. But, just to be able to walk out of here going onto the road with a win, going to be a happy flight.
Yeah, you mentioned your pitching staff. Yu Darvish, the way he played this game, how would you describe it?
He's been the same guy for, since this, last year. You can't say enough about the guy. He's nasty. He's got, I don't know how many different pitches, but when he's in the zone and it's, facing him in summer camp, spring training, whatever it is, it's not fun. So glad that he's on our team.
Kyle, it's 11 pitches I think we're at now. Thank you so much for the time. Len, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Elise. Thank you, Kyle. So the W flag flies. Cubs still have a 3-game lead in the division. 2-1 the final. We'll have more after this.